Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for coming out tonight. Welcome to the VentureDom final pitch night and the graduation for all of our VentureDom cohort in 2022. We are really privileged to have all these people in the room, and it's such a great turnout tonight. Amazing to see everyone here tonight. In the room, we have our amazing judges, mentors, friends, family, and of course, the stars of tonight, the VentureDom cohort. So welcome, everybody. Before we go on, I would just like to acknowledge that we meet on the lands of the Kaurna people, and I pay my respects to the elders, past, present, and emerging. That's a quick introduction, and now I'm going to hand you over to Verity Kingsmill, the Director of NVI. Come on this way. Didn't brief you about that way.
Let me add my welcome to what Kat has just welcomed everybody here. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I also want to acknowledge the lands on which we meet, being the lands of the Kaurna people, and pay respect to their elders past, present and emerging. It is a joy to be able to come together tonight in person, but also for those that are joining us online. And I'm going to, Raph, are we going camera here, or is the camera here? Camera's somewhere here. Up the back. So for those joining online, welcome as well. Particularly, I want to acknowledge our mentors that dedicate and volunteer their time to support the participants through VentureDom. And I also want to acknowledge and thank our judges, Professor Michael Gilding, who's the Executive Dean for our College of Business, Government and Law here at Flinders University, and Alec Tolson, who's a brilliant entrepreneur here in South Australia. Actually was a VentureDom participant 2016 with a very successful business here in South Australia that is having impact around the world called Lateral Vision. Started here and is now based in Lot 14 and doing some very, very interesting things when it comes to VR and augmented reality. But we have come here to hear from our VentureDom participants who have been through 8 weeks of challenging their ideas, being pushed in thinking differently about how they approach what they're thinking about, either in the product that they have already developed or their idea, bringing from idea to reality. I am really looking forward to finding out what people have been working on. I purposely don't ask any questions across the 8 weeks because I want to find out and be open to hearing more as you present tonight. This year we did a slightly different approach to VentureDom. We brought a variety of different presenters in to deliver the program, bringing in expertise in the different fields that they were delivering in. And I want to thank all of our presenters who have been part of the program over the last 8 weeks. I know that they love working with the energy and ideas of people who have new, innovative ideas and processes and products, and that's what they thrive in. And I know that the energy in the room that they brought in their presentations was also well received. So thank you so much to all our presenters as well across the program. But you haven't come to hear from me, but on behalf of the university, on behalf of the New Venture Institute, we welcome you here this evening, and we look forward to hearing from our VentureDom participants, both here in person and those online. And for those joining online, we hope you can cheer along from wherever you are and support this great group of people in taking a risk, in standing up in front and pitching for us tonight. So please join me in thanking our presenters, our mentors and our participants as we start the evening.
Thank you very much, Verity. I've certainly been holding back in the last few weeks because I always want to tell her what we have. She's like, nope, I don't want to listen to it. I want to hear everything for the first time on final pitch night. So very excited for all of our judges and everyone else who haven't heard the pitches to hear them tonight. Just a bit of housekeeping. Better now. Yes, please turn off your phone and put them on to silent. But yes, a bit of housekeeping before we start. Fire, if you hear a beep beep, be patient, stay calm. We have a fire warden here. When you hear the whoop whoop, calmly exit on the 2 exits, this way and this way. Practicing. Exit the building into the fire evacuation zone. If you need the restrooms, there's one just on the northern side of the building, and there's another set just around the corner behind the lifts. So just a bit of tonight, we will be starting the pitches off at 6:15, and we'll go through all the way to 7:45, and then after the pitches, all of the presenters can relax, go and have a bit of a nibble outside and have some drinks, while the judges will go away for the next half an hour to deliberate on our winners for the night. And we'll come back at 8:20, we'll announce the prizes, and then we'll go through to the graduation ceremony, and you can go back out to network and take photos for the evening as well. We have a camera set up. Ellen, thank you, Ellen, for handling the camera tonight, and we can take some pictures for you while you're pitching, so you can have them, and we'll send it up to you sometime next week. Thank you, Verity, for saying thank you to our facilitators. We did go through a different model this year, and I think it has been quite successful in being able to bring all these different amazing people to come in with their own individual expertise and to be able to share all of their individual expertise with you. So I'd like to thank Benji, Sue, Barbara, Steph, and Oren for being part of the Venture Dom program in 2022. And also a massive, massive thank you. I can't stress enough how much our mentors mean to the program. The mentors, as you all know, have given their time very, very generously to be able to meet with all of you and provide you with advice. So I hope that you took that advice, or you managed to make a new connection in the industry, and hopefully that can stay and grow through there. If you and your mentor decide that post-program you'd like to continue this relationship, we're more than happy for you to continue doing that and meeting up with your mentors post-program. We definitely very much encouraged it. And yes, introducing our judges, I won't go through it again. Verity has done a really great job with that, but thank you very much for our judges tonight to coming and spending this time with us. Right, as I mentioned, we have 3 prizes for tonight, and as I've been harping on to all the Venture Domers for the last 7 weeks, the prize is a bonus. What's really important is that you leave tonight with the confidence and the skills ready to go out into the world and face real people, and to leave this amazing bubble that we have, and we hope that we've given you the skills and the capabilities to leave and go out into the world to continue with your ideas. We won't leave you completely. We're still here for you. Anytime you need to have a chat with us, please pick up the phone, send us an email, and we'll always be here for you. Right, enough from me. I like when I'm ahead of schedule. Right, I would like to now introduce Jack and Breeze for our first presentation for tonight. Give them a round of applause, please.
Can you all hear me? Cool. Good. Can I just start by asking you to raise your hand if you enjoy a steak? Well, you're not alone. As Aussies, we love beef. And if you've ever spent time out in the country, you'll know how much Australia is supported by the beef industry. There are generations of people all over our country that have been raised to raise cattle, so that we can feed ourselves with a great source of protein that you'll find on our barbecues, in our pubs, and in almost every corner of our city street. But beef is a really damaging food source to the environment. In fact, because of the methane that cattle emit, 1 kilogram of beef results in the equivalent of 100 kilograms of carbon dioxide emissions. Now let me paint a picture for you. In the time that it takes to get to market weight, 1 cow will fill the equivalent of 6 Olympic-sized swimming pools worth of CO2. But what if we told you it didn't have to be like that? What if we told you that you didn't always have to choose vegetarian options to do your bit for the planet, and that you could have your steak and eat it too?
I'm Jack and this is Breeze, and right here in South Australia we're in a really unique position because we've got a native red seaweed called Asparagopsis. Our own Aussie researchers have found that by including just 0.2% of this seaweed to the diet of cattle, we can eliminate 98% of the methane that they produce. So this jar of seaweed right here, that's about what a cow would need in a day to have that full effect. It's really not very much.
But that's not all it can do. So instead of using energy to create methane, there's more energy available for growth. And that is preserved as around 25% more mass. And that means higher profit margins for feedlots because less time and resources are going into getting each animal to market weight.
In joining us at Coorong Climate Cultivations, we'll be producing this game changer locally to remove all those environmental impacts that are tied into our beef today. Our mission together will be to introduce Asparagopsis to the diet of all feedlot cattle in Australia within this decade. This change in our beef culture will not only prevent future methane from going into the atmosphere, but also draw down and store carbon that's already out there causing damage.
Getting involved with CCC means you'll be getting involved with an industry that could be worth as much as $140 million a year, while creating 1,200 jobs right here in your backyard. At Coorong Climate Cultivations, our ambitions fuel us to be right in amongst the growth of the industry. And our projected revenue forecast has CCC earning an estimated $2.5 million a year within 5 years. And from there, growth is exponential. Right now, you have the opportunity to be a part of a small organisation that has absolutely no ceiling on its potential. And together, we will be building a brand based on trust and transparency with our customers. And you'll have the opportunity to work closely with the engineer, the biologist, and most importantly, the farmers.
At the heart of our mission is the health of our oceans. By using 3D ocean farming techniques, we can create balanced and sustainable ecosystems around our setups. Our whole approach is quite simple and with very little input required. In working with the natural growth of the species and nurturing its environment, we can expect to be harvesting every 6 weeks.
We all know that the world needs to sequester carbon fast. And to play our part in fixing this crisis, we'll allocate profits from the sale of our products and carbon credits to restore marine habitats around SA. There is so much untapped potential in our oceans that we want to put to use in advancing biotechnology and our food systems. There is potential for algae-based applications in nutraceuticals and biofuels for a start, and Coorong Climate Cultivations is already exploring the natural fertiliser industry as a way to diversify our growth.
Right now we're focusing on what we can do to deal with the emissions so we can keep moving our ag industry forwards. Our next step to making that happen is compiling a huge application for an aquaculture lease out in the Southern Ocean. To stand alongside us, we're looking for professional endorsement to back us in our application. We're looking for investors to grow with us, and we're looking for partners to trade knowledge and inspiration. So if you're interested in joining with our mission, we want to talk to you, and let's create a new wave of change together. Hold on, do you have questions? Breeze, I have questions.
Oh, okay.
So would there be any questions? Yeah. I couldn't hear that. Can you hear that?
Absolutely. We've already made contact with Mark Coolmatry. He runs Cool Tours in the Fleurieu Peninsula, and he's someone we really want to get involved with. We just came from living in Western Australia for the last year, and we loved how involved the Indigenous culture was, and we noticed it's not quite the same in South Australia, and we want to be a part of, I guess, raising South Australia's standards. We want to make sure that the visions and the history of First Nations people are protected in what we want to, in what we're going to achieve, and we work closely with them as we restore marine habitats back to what they should be.
Yeah, I feel like it's in line with Algerian culture and preservation of the land to have a synergistic partnership at the same time. Algeria and what Director of First Nations Creative Collective Sun is my mobility. So I think there'd be a lot of interest in that project going
Yeah, absolutely. We'd love to discuss this more with you after, and we'd definitely look to doing that. That's something that really excites us.
Very compelling proposition. I've got two questions. So the first one is, what's the technology state of play? I was familiar with this kind of idea of seaweed feeding cattle through the biomarine CRC, but I wasn't aware that we were at a point where, that it was demonstrated and that we are confident that cattle eat the seaweed and that there are no side effects and that it's an unproblem. So I'm asking, at what stage is the technology in terms of actually being confident of what you're delivering? And the other question is just clarification upon what your ask is. Are you seeking investors or is that it? Or
Yeah, that's one of the things. So we had 3 asks at the end, general inquiries. But yeah, we were looking for investors, professional endorsement, and partners. That's primarily partner growers. Yeah.
Okay. And what about the technology and the state of the technology and the confidence in the technology has been validated?
Yeah, it's early stage, but very promising. There's pretty good literature to support that it is viable, which I'd be happy to share. But it is definitely in its early stages. This was CSIRO, MLA, and JCU only looked into this over between 3 and 5 years ago. So it's really early stage, and that's why we've got to get onto it. We've got the answer now. Let's just get to it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, great presentation. One question, you mentioned that this would be for feedlots. Is it something that can be extended to on-farm as well for grass-fed cattle?
Yeah, I hope so. A lot of Australia is already nutrient deficient in its soils, obviously, and in a lot of those sorts of extensive systems, we've got to put in different nutrients already, like as salt licks and stuff like that. So it could definitely be incorporated that way. Or there's also this is my own personal thing that I'd want to explore, but there's potential for slow release pellets that sit in the bottom of the stomach. So yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, great.
Feedlots first.
Again, great presentation, an interesting concept as well. And if it can be achieved, that's brilliant.
It can.
And so quickly. My question relates to the growers and
Yep.
how far is there people who are already growing this? Are there systems in place? Are there systems that and do we know what the impact is environmentally on those grow patches in the ocean?
Yeah, most of the current growth is on land in raceways, but there are 2 primary growers in Australia. So there's Sea Forest in Tasmania, who are probably leading the way, and I believe that they've also just started an ocean patch as well. So the environmental, I'd say benefits, but I suppose the all-round system would be evident within the next year or so from that trial. But the aquaculture on land is probably what's most common at the moment.
Great.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I think we have one more question.
Hi, I'm very excited about the potential of Asparagopsis, and I was at the Evoke Ag conference, and there was another company that just seemed to be really quite advanced, and they'd already managed to secure 3.6 million in funding to grow Asparagopsis in South Australia, and I was wondering if you checked out the market. I think it would be a good thing if there was more than one company and not just a monopoly. But just wondering where you were thinking, how you thinking it could go in competition, given that there's global markets as well.
Yeah, so you'd be referring to CH4, which are a brilliant company. They're the only South Australian producer growing at the Sardi facility. They have very similar values and ideas of what we want to be doing. So the general idea is we all just want to produce as much of this stuff as soon as possible and get all cattle fed ASAP. And they are openly looking for our partner growers. So that is where, I guess, the end of our pitch, where we're asking for partners. That would be directly to CH4. Yeah, and also, yeah, we believe that diversifying the supply chain, not just having one supplier or even two suppliers in all of Australia, yeah, we spread that out a little better.
We're lucky that it's a very altruistic industry. Everyone in the industry wants to see everyone else succeed, and there are so many cattle in Australia that it's going to take us a long time before we start crossing buyers. So we're in a great space right now, and I'm really excited.
Can I ask one more question? Sorry, I've jumped back in. Has there been any conversation, or have you done an exploring of where else, if you're developing feed for cattle, what else could be a byproduct or another use of that feed? So if is there any other application that you've thought about, any other agricultural use that could have a similar effect, appreciating that beef has the biggest impact at the moment?
You happy for me to take this one?
Yeah, yep, go for it.
I'm forgetting the question now. Yes and no. So we would be growing in it wouldn't just be Asparagopsis that we're growing. We're growing with mussels, crays, kelps, all sorts growing all together. Part of that would be for fertilisers, so as a byproduct, not as a byproduct, but more as like a leftover, making sure that we're...
And judging from the questions that we got from the room, but well done to both of you. I will now have lost my clicker. Actually, before I continue, I just want to let everyone know, a bit of housekeeping. Once you leave this room, you can't get back in. So if you do leave, please let one of us know so that we can wait. Saffron on the left here, please let her know. We've tried, believe me, but they just won't give us access to the room past 6 p.m. So once you leave, please let someone know. If not, you'll have to wait outside until someone comes back in. But yes, now next off to our next presenters, we have Nav and Eva from Nexi. When they're all mic'd up, they'll join you on stage. Round of applause, please.
Good evening. So me and Ava had an interesting experience with Venture Dorm. We came in as two separate people with two separate business ideas. We decided to collaborate halfway, so please bear with us as we're still finding our feet and come together to show you our vision.
Thank you. We believe the world is in a great reset. A reset of values, of customs, of ways of doing business. We've come out of a once-in-a-100-year of pandemic of lockdowns just to be pushed into the tragedy of war. How does this affect the way we communicate, the way we trust and interact, and how does this affect where we go from here?
We are going through an enormous pandemic pressure. Some effects which have been supply chain disruptions, labour shortages, volatile energy prices, and now rising interest rates. The fact is, the effects of the pandemic seem to be lasting, and if we do nothing, the consequences can be quite severe.
We must evolve in how we face these challenges and transform the economy with a new way of thinking, reset our mindset, re-establish our contacts, and redefine ourselves in a rapidly fluid world. New thinking for a new world, with those not evolving being left behind. My name is Eva.
My name is Nav, and we are Nexi. So the average adult has over 6,000 thoughts a day. And if we look at even 0.01% of these thoughts, that equates to roughly 6 thoughts a day. Now, you may not think that is much, but count the 2.3 billion people aged between 20 to 39, that is 13.8 billion ideas in just one day. Imagine how large that number could be over a lifetime, how many problems could be solved?
Before, if you wanted to innovate, you needed vast acumen, huge resources and time to develop your idea and take it to the market and trial and take it to the market again. Post-pandemic, we can't afford to be disconnected, unproductive, and stagnant.
We make all of that redundant. We make your ideas accessible, your business needs urgent, and the unique needs of innovation ascertainable.
We are offering the world's first platform of its kind to create thinkers to problems we are currently facing as individuals, businesses, and industries. To use collective intelligence in an unquantifiable market with unlimited potential.
We're creating a platform for a community of thinkers, of problem solvers, of innovators to make the process of creating, developing, and communicating ideas easy. We encourage people with a diverse background, knowledge, and social status to focus on coming up with solutions to problems and opportunities that you see around you right now. As part of the platform, you'll be given tokens by which you as a community can decide to invest in ideas which you want to build and create value out of them.
The more you participate and collaborate, the more you innovate towards a better world together. We inspire, we encourage, we create jobs. We enable you to think outside the box or your field. We revolutionize the way we do business. We leverage collective intelligence in the business world, unlike our competitors.
No more struggle for entrepreneurs to get their ideas into the startup ecosystem. No struggle for SMEs to improve and run their businesses. No more money wasted across common industry challenges, and no more old world thinking.
Imagine this new world, a new way of thinking where you are the driver of transforming Adelaide into the destination of innovation.
We're asking for endorsements for all of you guys to spread the word and spread your ideas. We're looking to build a team of people connecting to our vision, so if you connect, please come talk to us. We'd love to hear from you. If you are well versed in building a platform with the right technical expertise, we want to hear from you. If you work in law and want to help protect people's ideas, we want to hear from you.
Remember, we are not here for competition, we are here for collaboration. We are also asking for a first group of thinkers and businesses to come forward and participate in our pilot platform. Join us and let's create this new exciting future.
Join us in the new world. Thank you.
So my question is about curating ideas. So in a way, social media has presented more opportunities than ever before in human history to put ideas out there. But one of the problems now is actually kind of identifying which ideas are worth investing our attention to and which ideas don't, it's about sorting, prioritising. And I suppose my question is, have you given thought to how to curate or how to prioritise or how to direct attention? Because in a way, what we've got nowadays is too much information, whereas once the problem was not enough information.
Yes, we can both answer this question. So first of all, we would like to speed up idea generation, creating values around ideas. And we imagine the platform working on a way like matching ideas with interested group of people. So the groups would create a kind of collaboration and judge the idea by themselves, and then the idea would evolve into the next stage and the next stage, where the curators would participate, and we imagine attaching services to the platform where experts are involved and properly curate the ideas.
And we allow the community to be involved as well. So as much as involving SMEs and companies and industries with their challenges, the community has their own voice with, perhaps things they're struggling with, and they can have these tokens and invest their tokens into ideas which they believe, they want to build. So, yeah.
Yeah, great presentation. And I suppose over the last couple of years, we've seen there's great collaboration that is happening between people all over the world. So something like this really has opportunity. And my question was similar to that, so I think you've answered that.
Thank you.
And again, great presentation. I'm actually going to ask about your journey to this point, because I can see it's that new concept of kind of like, this is where we're at. We need some other people to come on board. Can we use AI and machine learning in this to try and match ideas to questions, etc. And there's probably some working out of what that looks like. How has this journey to get you to this point where you're thinking about working together compared to when you came into the program? What did you expect coming in? And where are you now? Did you expect this to happen, that you might actually join together? And how are you feeling about going forward with this idea?
I can start if that's okay. So I did not expect to collaborate coming into this. I wanted to come in and get an idea of how to get my idea started, and I was talking to Ava, and we both had similar goals of what we were trying to achieve. They may have been different avenues of achieving that, and I guess it was keeping an open mind. Ava talked about collaboration, and there is that fear of perhaps collaboration. I guess the fear is the trust, right? It's really hard to trust, and the pandemic has shown that lack of trust, between people in government, But I was open, and to the journey that we've gone on together, it's been really rewarding because we both bring different ideas, and it's great to be able to mesh them together.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be honest, we would like to bring more people in. So this was a true example of collaboration and thinking together. And the more we think together, the more we evolve and create, and basically a joint effort, that's what we are seeking. I came in with the idea of a business retreat with workshops around idea generation, and my good friend is here, Claire Bennett, who is an artist. So she is creating an art session around idea generation and nature observation, and moving towards blockchain technology and app. And Nev just jumped onto the app immediately, and then we kind of realized that we have to scale it back a little bit, go to the experts, collaborate, and then basically put this to the market. But we are seeking collaboration, so the journey is rewarding, highly rewarding.
Fantastic. So what do you hope now? You've had 8 weeks when you're kind of, okay, we've had a routine of meeting here now. Mm-hmm. How do you keep that motivation going of working together?
So we are looking to build the community for the platform. That's the first step. So we're looking to hold events with the library. I'm very keen, and just get the word out there. We want you guys to spread the word and sort of, get people together so we can build that community. I think that's the first step. We're both really passionate about this, so we're definitely, there's no, we're both driving towards a vision, and that's really powerful.
Yeah, no competition here, and we would like to gift us with ideas and problems to start with as the first prototype of the platform.
Yeah, feel free to come up. It's not for money. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you. Can we just play this over there and then we can thank you.
Amazing job, Nav and Eva. As you've heard from them, they've had a bit of a challenging last few weeks when they chose to collaborate in their business idea. And of course, knowing when you start with that, you pretty much start again. So they have lots to think about and lots to discuss over the last few weeks. I'm just hunting the clicker here. I just wanted to go next. It's the power, the clicker. But yes, Thank you very much, Eva and Nev. A great presentation and great job for the amount of time that you've had to put this together, so well done. Next up, we have Olivia. So Olivia has a box there that she's indicated to me she will indicate to Verity when to open, so very mysterious. Olivia, over to you.
Thank you.
Round of applause for Olivia, please.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Olivia. I'm a third-year undergraduate student studying English and history. I'm an artist, a writer, and the founder of a small bespoke art business. I am passionate about people's stories and memories, and I understand the importance of preserving them so they can be shared with loved ones and the next generation. So I want you all to think about, how do we store and share our memories? We've all got really big camera rolls. We have photo albums that we might dust off every once in a while to look through, or maybe we post on social media. And I know that everyone has family, friends, and colleagues whom they share fond memories with. And perhaps you would like to capture them through a much more personal and visual memento that you can easily display and keep for years. I have found there is a gap in the market when it comes to personalised, bespoke gift cards. There are businesses who do offer three-dimensional cards, but your ability to personalise them is often limited to choosing the colour, a generic design, and inserting your name. So imagine receiving something like this. For over 5.5 years, I've been closely working with individuals to tell their stories and preserve their memories through highly bespoke gift cards, which unfold and reveal a miniature diorama of their life memories. These can include birthdays, engagements, weddings, anniversaries, holidays, Mother's Days and Father's Days, farewells for friends and colleagues, thank yous for mentors and teachers. The possibilities are endless. But this isn't just a card. It's an original piece of art, tailor-made especially for the recipient. They are easy to display on a mantelpiece or a coffee table, and they're compact and easy to store and transport, so you can mail them off to somebody interstate or overseas. So how to order? You send me an expression of interest in person or via email, and I set up a time for us to talk. I want to know who it is for and what memories you've shared and what it will look like. We'll develop ideas together and come up with a design. And you need to tell me when you need it by. And I generally need a few months notice. From there, you choose a size and a colour for the base. You then design the centrepiece. You can have up to 8 miniatures for a small, up to 15 for a medium, or up to 20 for a large. And these can be either 3-dimensional or 2-dimensional. And then you design the outer panels. And there are some starting prices, and you can add different elements for a greater cost. So for the 8-panelled box, you get a greater area to work with, and I found that people really enjoy opening up the panels because it's like the box is growing before you. I currently hand make everything, but there is the opportunity to scale up by digitising designs and printing them, outsourcing the base for the boxes, and possibly looking at virtual reality. If you would like to know more or express your interest, please contact me.
Well done, Olivia. Congratulations. And you can't see these, but oh my goodness. The detail and the intricacy that goes into these cards is just mesmerising. Olivia, when you came into this program, what were you hoping to achieve, and what has been your journey from coming in with the concept through to now? What are the key takeaways for you?
So I've been making these and selling them for 5.5 years, so I had some background in marketing and I knew my market very well, but I didn't know how I could scale it up because it's just me at the moment making them, and I was a bit concerned coming into the program that perhaps me as a small art business, I wouldn't fit within the others, but the feedback's been great from every cohort. I've been able to talk to mentors who have experience in marketing and in the art business, and they've given me great ideas on how to scale up the business model, and yeah.
And you mentioned augmented virtual reality as kind of a virtual space. How far have you gone down that line?
I haven't looked at it. It's been a suggestion, but right now I'm focused more on scaling up the physical product.
Fantastic. Thanks, Olivia.
Thank you.
Yeah, great. And I think, well, I suppose, seeing that open in front of you, that was the sort of the wow factor. So very, very cool.
Thank you.
I imagine your clients must be very happy when they can send that off. One question around, I suppose, scalability. Like you look at the detail and it's so detailed in terms of all the intricacies and things. Have you had to think about how, like, you can still keep that sort of bespoke feel, but still keeping it scalable, and
Definitely.
any ideas around that?
So there are some elements that are more common. So book covers, sports teams, things that I could design on my tablet, keep on file and then print out. That will save me hours of time, and also thinking about training new people and onboarding them so they have the same skills that I do, but we can produce more. And I had an idea actually from one of our mentors in the program that I could outsource the base for the box, and that would also save me a lot of time.
Yeah, awesome. Great.
Thank you for your presentation. I think what you do is really delightful, and you know, it does bring a smile to your face when you see the product. I can see why you've got this challenge about scalability, because in a way, the delight of it is the absolute uniqueness of the product, and of course, the more you scale, the less unique it becomes. And I'm probably still a little bit unclear about how you're going to scale and retain that kind of beauty and attention to detail that you've got now. But that is going to be your challenge. And I think the other challenge you're going to have is, you know, there's obviously a lot of love and thought that goes into making each product. And the moment you employ people, it's really hard to get that same level of attention to detail and pride that you obviously put into the work. So good luck with it.
Thank you. That's definitely an ongoing conversation, and it is important to keep the integrity of the product that people love so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Olivia. Certainly, these boxes are a little treat in a little box, and they're very, very impressive when you do open it up. And absolutely, the attention to detail in them is just amazing. So thank you very much, Olivia, for that presentation and bringing a bit of a touch and feel item that your judges can have an up close and personal look to. Well done, Olivia. All right, our next up, come on down this way. Every time I'm here, I feel like The Price of Right. Come on down. Welcome to Anissa and Victor from WonderWiz. Please give them a round of applause.
Is the sound okay? Yeah, you can. Yeah, but yeah, yes, no. Okay, cool, good. I'll try to speak up. My name is Anissa, and this is Victor, and we are here from WonderWiz. So we'd like to invite you on a journey. Imagine this. You're in a foreign country, possibly in a country that you don't speak the language of. You are with a tour. It's very crowded, people are talking, Maybe there are simultaneously several tours happening at the same time. You can't hear the tour guide properly. More importantly, he can't hear you to answer your questions. And then he stops at some places that are very boring, uninteresting, and gives you information that you think, well, I could have got that off the internet myself. So you're left feeling unfulfilled, frustrated, and bored. And now imagine this.
Now imagine that you are in Costa Rica. You are at the bottom of a mountain, surrounded by a cloud forest, by green mountains, just with another tour guide and one of your friends. And you can hear the monkeys shouting from the far distance or a bit closer. And you start your journey to the top of the mountain. Along the way, you will see lots of different animals, and you're not sure, are they harmless or may they attack you? And luckily, your guide, Diego, grew up in this area, and he's happy and willing to share his local knowledge with you. And so together, you gather the ingredients, the local plants, local herbs, to prepare your dinner together later that day, and you have an unforgettable experience behind the waterfall in the cave.
So experiences like this are possible right now, but they are not easy to access. It's really hard to find an authentic guide, someone with local wisdom, local knowledge that you can easily find and connect with. And Victor and I are really passionate about growing communities, creating values together, and growing the collective. And we would love to intentionally create these moments of human connection, of kindness, of generosity. And the way that we would love to do it, and we're proposing to do it, is we offer an e-marketplace. It's a peer-to-peer marketplace that connects travelers with local people. And they offer customizable tours, one-to-one tours, or very small tours like 1 to 2 people, to have an unforgettable, once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Thank you. Let's now talk a bit about numbers. We have done some research around the market, especially around travelers visiting Australia. The graph you can see right now is from 2011 until the pre-COVID area. We excluded COVID since it is a big exception. And you can see that the travelers coming to Australia from all over the world is steadily growing until a peak of 10 million visitors per year in 2019. And based on our market research, the number is expected to grow and reach 15 million travelers per year in 2025. And based on our finance model, based on our price calculations, we need only 0.001% of the entire market in order to have a sustainable business that we can operate.
So we would like to ask you if you have any ideas, any, if you can think of partnership possibilities, if you have financial resources, if you would like to be a guide or just access our platform, come and talk to us. We would love to chat. Thank you.
Thank you for that presentation. That certainly does look like a scalable proposition. Do you have a kind of a model a bit like Airbnb in a way, where you're basically asking people to rank the quality of the service so that I suppose the issue is trust, and how do the big thing in social media these days is trust and knowing that you're not going to get fleeced, and I suppose rating systems do that. I just wonder how you're going to create trust in your consumers and also deal with the situations that arise when, like it's, wisdom, you hope that people get wisdom and connectivity, but there's a lot of other things out there in this world that people can connect over, which are less desirable. So how do you deal with the darker side of...
So basically, we're working on an onboarding process just to have some filters in terms of police checks or interviews with the guides before they can. Not that everybody can join. They really need to have something to offer as well and present well enough to be a guide. And also in terms of risk management, then there's also the legal side that we're looking into in terms of terms and conditions, what we need to cover legally. But we are really focusing on creating a community, and hopefully with that sense of community and people being able to write reviews and rate the experiences that they have, that can increase that sense of trust. Do you have anything else to add?
No, thank you.
Yeah, great presentation. So my, I suppose, main question is around, Airbnb experiences. Like, what's the point of difference between that?
There are a couple of differences. So, for example, Airbnb has quite high requirements before someone even can enroll into the platform. So someone, for example, needs to have a profession, and I think the onboarding process is quite a lot. And they are, I think it looks like they focus on really professional, either athletes or hikers. However, we basically invite everybody. So we invite the local person who has some spare time. It might be a student, potentially it's everybody. But in the end, as Anissa mentioned, the community will make the decision if this service should be offered further or not, basically. So, and another point of difference is that we also want to contribute to the communities as well. And what we want to do is we want to pay back from our profit. And to start with, we would select the local communities, ideally for the future. The travelers themselves who come onto the platform can select communities based on the geographic location where they are at the moment.
Yeah, great.
A great concept. I love any kind of travel opportunity that connects me locally with somebody that knows the area and wants to show me what is anything that's not a major tour person, but someone who's local.
Yeah.
I think the scalability is realistic. Have you thought about where you want to start? Because where you start, obviously, is key for how to then expand it, rather than going kind of at a world level straight away.
Yep.
Have you thought about that starting point?
Yes, we have decided to start with South Australia and then expand to Australia, mainly because there is almost zero competition here in Australia, and we see a lot of opportunities for even Australians to experience, their backyards in a different way, basically. But also for international travelers who come to Australia to have a completely different experience of just, going to the Opera House or very touristic places.
So from here, after this program ends tonight, what are your next steps?
So basically, we follow the typical line that we have learned throughout Venture Dome. We thought we would go like this, and now we go in all the circles, because I think we really started in creating or searching for what is a good technical platform, and we worked on operating concepts, business plan, finance plan, until we realized the first and most likely most important step is to build the community, which means and this was also really great to have the feedback within the group, also from the mentors, to really reach out to people, talk to people, making the first connections. Let it be Central Market, let it be Barossa Valley. Someone said around, I think, also the Flinders area. So this would be the biggest step to create the community, and together with the community creating values around the platform. And we both understood that the platform side of things is important, but not the most important part.
Yeah.
Great, thank you. Anyone else in the room? Okay, fantastic. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you very much to WonderWiz and their almost team of 3. I think we all can certainly relate to a travel experience that we want to go back to, or a place that we want to go to soon now that the borders are open. But now let's move on to our next presenter, Lawrence, when you're ready. Round of applause for Lawrence from Educatia.
I would like everyone to metaphorically take your shoes off. And now close your eyes and imagine. You're in year 11. You're putting on your old leather school shoes and you're coming towards the end of your school year. And your teachers, your parents and your friends are asking you what you want to do for the rest of your life. And you have no clue. Now take off those school shoes and put a beer in your hand. You're in your first year of university and you've chosen your major. You're hanging out with your mates and they're asking you what area you want to specialise in. Again, you have no idea. Put your beer down and now enter adulthood. You're 5 years into your career, you're unmotivated, you're unhappy, and you want to change, but you don't know where to start. Now open your eyes. Hi, I'm Lawrence Saverna, and I'm the founder of Educatia, a startup fundamentally transforming the way the next generation experience career selection. The problem that I just described is being experienced by millions of people around the world, and is causing stress and anxiety. And it is caused by there being no one-stop shop or one-stop experience for users when trying to understand what area they want to go into. A little bit of evidence to support this. 1 in 5 university students in Australia drop out each year. 1 in 5 Australians quit their job in 2021. And 1 in 3 people who start a new job instantly regret their decision. The solution is Educatia, an online platform and online experience that uses mixed reality, videos and images to help users understand what career is best suited to them. Its key differentiating features is that it takes users through an experience to help guide them to that selection process, and then the platform then links them to live jobs as well as live industry mentors. It also provides the next level of detail in comparison to current solutions, not just going into detail on industries and jobs, but really understanding companies, divisions, teams, so people and users can plan long-term career. Its revenue model would be an annual recurring subscription, allowing for defensive, recurring and maintainable revenue profile. And its target customers from a B2B perspective will be schools, universities, TAFEs and registered training organisations with opportunity to go direct to consumer. As mentioned, current solutions focus on basic questionnaires that sometimes provide inaccurate results and focus on industries and job details without going into that next level of detail. Now, market feedback from speaking to the potential customers is that some private schools currently have no solution at all, and the ones that do have a solution say that it is outdated, clunky, and not comprehensive. One of the largest universities in South Australia said, again, they are not using any solution or any platform when helping students make these decisions. And an EdTech investor and board member of multiple private schools in Australia said, and I quote, "Most institutions are trapped using poor technology and tools from another era." Meet Hugh. For my market testing, I came along Hugh, and he spent 3 years studying a Bachelor of Commerce before he got to the end and realised that it just wasn't for him. He then transferred into computer science and absolutely loved it. If Hugh's university had Educatia experience integrated into one of their first year modules, or had the platform integrated into their learning management software, then Hugh would have been able to understand that commerce wasn't for him at an earlier stage and make that shift. Now, given I met Hugh during this process and he experienced a problem himself, he was happy to come on board and help me out to be able to develop this project. Now, I've spent 5 years in corporate and investment banking, so I love numbers. I'm a nerd, so let's get into it. From a B2B perspective, there are around 5,000 potential customers, and from speaking to those customers, they're currently paying between $10,000 to $20,000 for similar products. This equates to a total addressable market in Australia of between 50 to 100 million. From a profit and loss perspective, similar business models, similar products in a similar industry generally attract a GP of around 60% and an EBITDA margin of around 40%. And from a valuation perspective, similar trading and transaction multiples are currently between 10 to 15 times. And conservatively, if I could penetrate the market by 1%, that would mean a potential implied enterprise value between 3 to 4.5 million. To support that, in 2020, the EdTech market was around 300 billion and is expected to double to 600 million by 2025. Now, what am I asking for? I'm asking for a partnership with an educational institution to help drive a pilot program. I'm looking for advisory board members who have experience in automation, technology, artificial intelligence, or a technology-focused co-founder, or capital of $70,000 to kick off. So join me in transforming the experience of career selection for the next generation. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Lawrence. This is a key area of interest for me. And there are a number of platforms that do it, not everything, but probably a little bit more than some of the guys. And there's a number of platforms that are starting to explore this broader immersion, but they're not focused across all categories.
Yep.
A lot of them are focused on universities, but not actually thinking about it from a school's perspective,
Yep.
And definitely not from an RTO or a TAFE perspective at all. I think it's a really good idea to get an advisory board involved. What I'd ask is, I just want to get you to expand a little bit more about, there's IP here, that there are some players in the market that would either probably be interested in collaborating, or try and expand their platforms they have already. Where are you at in the development process? You've done some great numbers in there, you've got some great plans in there. Where are you in the actual development stage, or are you at the very first point of the concept?
Yeah, sure. So I've developed a really basic kind of MVP, and that's pretty much just kind of taking people on the experience of the selection. So it doesn't incorporate the kind of immersion experience side of things. And so at the moment, kind of that advisory board, as I mentioned, I'm really looking for someone who has that kind of, technological capability. So then hopefully in the near future, then I can really build out kind of a, MVP 2.0, that then can kind of have that immersion kind of in it. And so I guess, yeah, open to kind of, merging or talking to people who might be, in that space, or might have experience in that space, to then kind of develop it. And so that's kind of where I'm at. And I guess from a market perspective, really just, going out, talking to schools, universities, students, and just making sure that, that there really is a need for it. And so far, it's been a kind of a big tick across the board. So yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at.
Thanks, Lawrence.
Yeah, great presentation. And from someone who went to uni and then did something completely different, it would have been quite nice to have an idea of what it was that I was studying.
For sure.
Before I started. I suppose one key point, have a think about as well the businesses becoming your partners as well, as a funding revenue. And yeah, happy to have a chat around all things like VR and immersion, all that type of tech stuff.
Amazing. Yeah, sure. I'll take you up on that.
So thanks for your presentation. It was very well put together.
Thank you.
You absolutely persuaded me about, well, I mean, there's clearly a problem here. There's a lot of people who drift, and it's because, we don't know a lot when we're 17, and we're kind of, we've got a limited experience to draw from, and a limited set of social networks to draw from. I suppose my question is just because there's a problem, is this the solution? And the example of the guy that you spoke about, is, so he tried something, he experienced it, and then he tried something else and loved it, and he learnt from his experience. And I suppose I'm trying to think, like I'm sitting here thinking, so let's say how do you know what you don't know? Like how how do you know what to look for when you don't actually have a lot of experience of the world? And in a way, what you're saying is you don't need to learn from experience. You can learn this, you know, on a website. And I suppose my question or challenge is, you know, how confident are you that going to a website is going to solve the problem, which is currently solved through people basically testing stuff through experience?
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. And I think I'm 100% sure that the problem, you know, isn't going to be 100% solved. Just given the fact that, you know, people will think they want to do something, they'll try it out, and they're not going to actually know, or, you know that they want to do it or don't want to do it until they actually kind of experience it. And so I think kind of the key thing will be just to make sure that, you know, when you're developing the experience, when you're developing the platform, you're kind of, you know, making the experience, I guess, as close to reality as possible. And I think that's kind of when I think of, you know, why I initially thought of the mentor connection, is that, you know, you can read as much as you want, you can watch as much as you want, etc. But having, you know, someone who's actually in that space and to be able to tell you what it's like in real life, I think kind of beats all. So yeah, as I said, I'm sure that, you know, there's people that change their mind through experience, which you're probably never going to be able to solve the problem for, I think, or you're going to have quite a low chance of doing so. But for that portion where, you know, you will be able to learn things through an experience or through a platform that can then guide your decision, then I think it'll be beneficial for. And kind of another point is, if there is someone who, you know, has no idea what they want to do, then kind of going on that experience and learning a little bit about a lot and then making a decision from there, at least you kind of guide them in a little bit of a better direction. So I see that as being a little bit more certain of kind of solving that angle of the problem. And then the other angle of the problem is, you know, you should be able to, you know, solve or help people at least, but not probably 100% of the people.
Thank you.
Cool, thank you.
Thank you very much, Lawrence. Yes, I will grab that off you. I'm sure a few of us have been faced with these questions, maybe even recently during the pandemic. The Great Resignation is in full effect, so good luck to everyone out there. Right, next we are going to hear from one of our two online presenters. Most of the Venturedomers know we've had a few of our participants join us from the Barossa, York and Mid-North regions. They unfortunately can't be here with us tonight, but they have pre-recorded their pitches, and the judges will provide them with some feedback, and they will be watching online on our live stream. So just to present Lisa Hendry for the next pitch.
As an enrolled nurse in a little country nursing home, I talk to older people daily. I've come to realise how much of a struggle people face, how tough people find the aged care system, and how challenging the dementia journey can be. Throughout my nursing career, I continue to hear of the struggles people have trying to navigate help and services in a remote country location. And it's just broken my heart. Folks saying to me daily, I wish there was someone who would just help us through it. I wish there was someone that would help us with all this paperwork. And I wish there was someone who would just explain to us why dementia is the way it is. This motivated me to do a degree that completely focused on dementia so that I could better understand the disease and the needs of the people living with it. I'm Lisa Hendry, a dementia care advisor, nurse, and I'm here to help you and your family navigate the uncertainties of dementia, to help you work through the process of dementia care without the stress and frustration that can come with the unknown. Most importantly, to get the right care for your loved one. In order to get the right care for you or your loved one, we'll start with a good chat, then we'll know what direction to take. This is the beginning of our care partnership, where we'll begin putting your pieces together. We'll look at all that paperwork, your service options, and we can focus on the impact dementia might be having on your lives, the diagnosis, solutions for challenges, change behaviour strategies, future planning, and so on. From this, I develop a pathway for my care partners, showing you a way forward, in order to progress you to a more stable and supported position. The information I tease out during our chat will then inform what happens next. It is incredibly personalised and far from one size fits all. You will receive the benefit of my aged care knowledge and my dementia care experience. I am also experienced in palliative care and end of life, so I can guide conversations around these sensitive topics also. As we keep building the picture of your personal needs, there are other services that I can support you with, such as in-home respite, giving very tired brains a much needed rest, social and domestic support such as cooking, shopping, meal prepping, transportation, getting you out and about, keeping you connected with your community, and also assistance to attend appointments. I can help with nursing services such as medication management. We also might set about writing an advanced care directive for you or your loved ones, and we may also want to discuss palliative care and end-of-life nursing care. Now, I think that we can all agree that professional services come at a cost, right? We all pay for services that we use. Well, that's the key. I only charge you for services that you need, not services that you don't need. I don't charge you admin fees, I don't charge you package management fees, and there are no lock-in contracts. It's flexible and tailor-made, right? Remember I said no one size fits all. My services fit you, not the system. I'll give you a printed or emailed documented pathway to a more stable and supported position that you then make decisions about. If you have enough information from that and you decide that you're done with me, well, that's fine. But if my unique and individualised style of care speaks to you and you decide that you want to collaborate with me further, then great, let's get started. So let's face it, we're all getting older and we're all certainly getting busier. But we've all got ageing parents or grandparents and things can get complex. If and when that happens, let me take care of all that paperwork. Let me take care of all that stress and worry. I'll answer your questions, I'll bring solutions to the table, and I'll take the weight off your shoulders. Let's begin our care partnership today. I'm Lisa Hendry, Dementia Care Advisor. Thank you for listening.
So Lisa, very nicely put together presentation. So one thing that's, and I've got no doubt that there's a demand for the services that you're describing. I think, you know, it's obviously a very stressful and bewildering time for people and a time when they really do need an advocate and a support. One thing that's not clear to me is what your ambitions are. So clearly, you know, there's a, you know, if you're aiming to be a self-employed advocate, then I can absolutely imagine that. It's not clear to me as to whether you think this is something that's scalable, and it's not clear to me how you would scale it, especially with the level of individual attention and focus that you're requiring. And the other thing I'm wondering is, you know, like I know that when it comes to health services, the main factor that influences whether people get in touch with the services they need isn't the level of their need, but whether they have the advocates for themselves to seek out the need that they help. And I suppose listening to you, I wonder, how will people become aware of you? Thank you.
Yeah, great presentation, and obviously something that's in a big need. I suppose my main comment again would be around, how to make this scalable beyond just yourself. Would that be bringing in the team, or would it be bringing in telehealth? And obviously a big component is the one-on-one, but yeah, just thinking of how you could make that bigger than just the one person would be really great. But yeah, definitely something that's very much in need.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Lisa. Agree, exactly the same with Michael and Alex is also the scalability. Should there be a range of people that take up the service? And I by what you're presenting, it is a huge gap in the market, particularly the early start of that process. But the scalability is my question. And it just wasn't quite clear through the presentation if you're talking before something like the ACAT assessments happen or being a service point to assist people in actually navigating the complexities of ACAT before they actually get onto packages. So it'd be really good to clarify that. I think what you're offering once ACAT services are allocated, I can see how that fits in. I think there's an opportunity, which you may be doing, I'm just not quite sure, but I think there's a huge opportunity for that complexity of actually navigating the system early on. So yeah, well done.
Thank you very much, the judges, for your feedback. Lisa, who will be watching online, I'm sure she'll be very appreciative of the feedback that she's receiving. Next up, we have a group of 3, 1 laryngitis. Yeah. Green Grids, please come down this way, and I think I will hand one of you the mic. Round of applause for Green Grids.
Quentin is our pretty face. He gave his voice to the Australian Hydrogen Conference last week, so you don't get it. Can playing a game become a clean energy game changer? We think it can. We are Green Grids. Quentin, Paul and myself, between us, we have 60 years experience in the energy sector. We know that changing the energy system is hard, it can be slow, it's often uncertain, and if you've been listening to the climate change debate, you'll know that our energy systems need to change now more than ever, and they need to change urgently.
In my career in the energy sector, I've seen firsthand that lots of people don't have much knowledge about our energy systems and the potential consequences of their choices. One of the reasons being that they're quite complex. There's plenty of parts. Think of poles, wires, different types of power stations, and we're rapidly adding many more to these, like solar panels, electric vehicles, and batteries. There's an old adage. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. We are in the midst of a go-together moment, and we can't do that unless we connect millions of Australians to that great transformation, a transformation that affects all of us and is affected by all of us.
Our board game gives 4 to 6 players a community and the challenge of transforming their energy systems as fast as possible, without causing blackouts and without causing a cost of living crisis. So let me introduce you to some of the players. Here's Emma. She's been a climate activist since she was a student. She stacks her community full of solar panels, batteries, electric vehicles. She wants to get there as fast as possible. She's doing really great on sustainability, but not so well on affordability. Ted, by contrast, is a low-income retiree. He struggles to make ends meet at the end of the day. And he knows that he wants his community to start with the things that save them money. Energy efficiency, and he's going to do some deals with the energy companies to make sure that the surplus solar and wind is sold to his community as cheaply as possible. He's a bit slower and steadier than Emma, but he's keeping all of his aims nicely balanced. And finally, you get to the busy Baxter family. They rarely have time to think about energy. So they adopt a strategy where they wait until the technology's proven, the costs have come down and everyone else is already doing it. They're maybe not going as fast as the other two. But at this stage in the game, we can't tell you who's going to win because the game mirrors our everyday electricity system. It has the same causal factors, and the decisions made by Emma and Ted affect the Baxters and vice versa. It's only by participating in the game experience that players can truly explore all of the things that might happen in our energy transition.
Currently, nothing like green grids exists. Come on. In the energy sector in Australia, we have created a unique gaming experience that not only makes energy conversations fun, but also helps anyone experience their role in this complex system. A game is a super safe and super fun way to experiment with the future in different scenarios. We are keen to introduce green grids to millions of students and hundreds of Australians, already agitating for better electricity systems. And we've already had several meetings with the SA Education Department, and they're very excited about the concept and can see that it aligns with their desired focus areas. So please join us. We are looking for a partner to fund the creation of our game, ready for launching at the Future Energy Week in November. Our ideal partner will share our ambition to transform our energy systems, and a partner that will open doors for us across energy industry or throughout the education system. You will recognize our game as an opportunity to create a groundswell of support for rapid energy transformation. You'll be excited at the thought of inspiring everyone to make different choices about their different choices next time they make an energy decision. And you won't pass up the opportunity to enthuse the next generation about building a sustainable future. Join us in connecting everyone to the energy decisions we can all make to achieve this essential transformation together.
Yeah, great presentation. Loved it. What are you thinking is like the delivery sort of mechanism of this? Is it like
Quentin and I are both energy consultants, and we're well aware that there's a big space in, and Paul's a facilitator, there's a big space in the energy industry to actually do facilitated sessions where you take the hostilities and conflict out of those sort of sessions, and you give everyone this generally opening up the space fun experience to start off with. I'm the chair of the Coalition for Community Energy. There's a train the trainer model there. A lot of community energy groups have a few people that have really started to wrap their heads around the technical, but they've got a whole group of members that they have to bring with them. And across the education department, there's such a fantastic opportunity to just wend this in with curriculum. Energy crosses everything. You know, you've got a whole social side to it, which a lot of us don't talk about, but it's physics, maths, chemistry, it's got everything there.
Yeah, awesome.
I love it. I just wanted a question, and I love the idea of the different types of players as well, so people can also see their decisions' impacts on other people as well, so it's not just thinking about it as a sole contributor, but actually seeing that broader impact of those decisions. A question, the actual delivery format, you mentioned a board game, yeah? Love to know where you've got to on that development phase, but also if there is scope or if you've considered more of an interactive, augmented space, particularly getting kind of younger generations involved, maybe in a virtual capacity as well. Just, where are we at in those development phases?
So where we're at, we did the Transformathon back in November and won the opportunity to develop the game, which started with Venture Dawn. So we have a fund to get our prototype up and running. We developed a lot of the game mechanics and ideas back then, and we checked out the market. There's a power grids game where you can buy nuclear power stations, coal power stations, gas power stations, you know. Clearly there's space in the market for this new game. Yeah, we're at that stage of getting our game designed. In terms of going digital, absolutely. I think what's going to be really important is the way the players affect each other, because that's reality in the energy system. We're all connected to this centralised system. 100% renewable energy future will be some local stuff and some big wind farms. And Power Grid shows us this. There's a real opportunity to expand this game out and design it for different countries. You come to Australia, you're the land of wind and sun. You go to New Zealand, you're the land of hydro and geothermal. So quite different stories in different countries about what their transformation looks like. So yeah, the opportunities are endless.
One very quick thing. I also love the idea of the education piece and the future energy composition. You know, if you chose battery, what is the impact on land? If you chose hydro, hydrogen, where are the impacts? So the education piece in there as well is a huge opportunity. Well done.
Thank you. I really enjoyed your presentation. You've obviously got a lot of credibility in terms of your experience and bring a lot of knowledge to what you do. And of course, the problem that you're addressing is, you know, is timely and urgent and important. So, you know, no question about the issue that you're addressing. Just at a personal level, I found myself really wanting to know more about the game. You know, like. Maybe that's what you're aiming at, that we're all kind of wanting to know the next step, but you've obviously done more thinking than, you know, about it, a fair bit of thinking about it, and I really would have liked about a bit more to kind of give me more of a sense of the feasibility and the progress, but well done, and you know, important project.
And I think we've got a bit to fight about there, to be honest. I'm in the middle of a PhD on microgrids. And I'm still trying to work out how you bubble up this detailed information about what's needed to communicate with everyday people. Quentin's investing in a hydrogen future, so it's never going to happen, Quentin, never going to happen. Right? So we have a lot of fights to have to get those causal mechanics really ringing true.
So what I would say to that is it would have been great if you'd brought those arguments to the pitch.
Yeah.
Because in a way, it speaks to the complexity of the issue and gives us a real sense of the life behind the project, which I think would be, you know, which is an absolutely important part of it. So, anyway, thank you.
It's not every day I get to have a go at you with no reply, Quentin.
Thank you very much to Green Grids. Still the clicker from you again? Thank you. Just to throw you off, we're going to move here, this side. And we have Dr. Irina White next, presenting for Complexity Explorer. Thank you, Irina.
Right, hope you can all hear me. Is that okay? Yeah? I've got a pretty loud voice anyway. Got the first slide? Off we go. Well, hello. My name is Dr. Irina White. As a PhD student at Flinders University, I developed a new way to unravel complex problems by connecting the actors and the factors. So last year I received a Vice-Chancellor's Gold Medal for this work, and that's it down there. I now want to share this work with future generations as an online tool called Complexity Explorer and make it available worldwide for free. Unlike traditional problems, complex problems, also known as wicked problems, are messy. We can find these messy problems not only in education reform, which was the focus for my PhD, but also in climate change, organisational change management, and healthcare, to name just a few of the applications. What I have found is that decision makers are looking for, from their university courses, from their business and industry partnerships, and from research, collaborative whole systems views that are more than the sum of the parts. They want ways to bridge silos in organisations. They want a practical tool they can easily use. They want to be able to demonstrate the impact of relationships in complex settings. And also, they want ways to visualise what might be possible, to explore the what-if questions. Here's a quick demonstration of how the simple computer modelling simulation that I developed works in Complexity Explorer. This modelling process applies stories from the lived experience of participants in real time. It connects key stakeholder roles, represented here as orange dots, then connects the enabling relationships between them, the green arrows. Then the inhibiting relationships between them are added, the red lines. Where roles with significant influence occur, these are shown by attaching globe icons. Levels of influence are then adjusted by the participants. When the computer simulation is run, the stakeholder roles, the orange dots, change in size based on the impacts of all of the parts in the model. When the orange dots don't change, it suggests that these stakeholder roles are not having an impact in this participant's case. When participants in this modelling process start to explore and adjust the relationships, for example by deleting red line inhibiting relationships, the model starts to look very different. The real model on the left shows the effect size of central systems in what is happening now, quite small. In the ideal model on the right, the role of central systems appears much more effective once we take out the red lines. Here is what one of my research participants said about this process. His case study was about...
It's been awesome fun. I think having someone else involved in this, in the conversation, is the most important thing. It is where models and technology like this actually enable an open conversation about change and reflection of change. So I think it's been brilliant.
And his case study was about using augmented reality in education.
It's been awesome.
Whoops. Okay. Based on my experience with My Future, which is Australia's free national online career exploration service, and with the support from Flinders University in getting, I hope, some grant funding, I'm confident I can build a fully functional online prototype of Complexity Explorer within 3 months, ready to trial globally. Please come and talk to me. And this is who I am. Thank you.
Thank you for that. It's a very it has huge possibilities, and I find it very intriguing. I suppose two questions. So first of all, how much, like you mentioned one de-identified PhD student who'd used it, and 15, okay.
Universities in Australia and New Zealand.
Okay, and they were all PhD students, or?
No, they were all people who were involved in educational reform through the use of technology in education.
Okay, and it was the one that the person that you quoted us was a typical response in.
One of the people who participated in the study and who'd actually been successful in getting other people within his university to take up an augmented reality game.
Yep.
And so it was that process of how did that happen, who were the stakeholders, how were they connected. That's what we modelled together with his story. But there were 15 separate stories. Each one is completely unique.
And how complex is it to use? I mean, just when you show it up there, it looks quite complex to use.
It's all in 1 hour on Skype.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, fascinating. I think it would be a very interesting TED Talk for you to go into a deep dive on how that would all work. Like, I suppose, wanting more information, and I suppose being...
I'd love to have had more time.
But being a small presentation, you did a good job. I suppose in terms of the the delivery to make this available, what's your sort of thoughts and thinking of that, in what would be done in that 3 months' time?
I can build the prototype in 3 months. The actual modelling tool exists. It just uses something very simple as the engine behind it called NetLogo, which has been around since the 60s. So it's pretty powerful but very simple kind of technology to put online, or already exists online. So it's building the whole process around it. What was unique about what I did was I brought in a 6-step process. I brought in the idea of actually modelling with the participant live, rather than having a whole lot of data and sending it off to a whole lot of people to model.
Mm-hmm.
And it would work online very, very simply. And I've got somebody in Melbourne who is happy to build it with me. I've actually built a platform with him before for Lutheran education. And so, we know we can do it in 3 months.
Yeah, awesome. Very exciting.
I would like to include any students from Flinders University who might be interested in being part of it as part of a WIL project, a Work Integrated Learning project.
Yep. Yeah, great.
Thanks, Irina. I can see the application in such a diverse range of settings as well, as you identified in the early on, the broad wicked problem question. So your ask is to support the onboarding, or to support the development. Is that what you're asking? Is finances to get the platform written?
I'd like to get Flinders University to support me in going for a CRC grant. I'm already a registered business under the name of Complexity Explorer, which is a requirement of the CRC grant process, but I need to partner with the university, and my first choice is the university who partnered with me that allowed me to do the PhD and gave me the medal.
Fantastic. And is that partnering conversation happening in any college in particular?
Yes, here at NBI.
Okay.
I hope with Professor John Spear.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I was due to present just before COVID shut the university down.
Right.
And so I'm meeting, I think on the 15th of July again,
okay,
to talk to him. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. All right, I'm just going to pass back to Alex.
Have you checked out the CRCPs, the CRC projects?
Yes.
Yeah, because that's also
the
another
round,
good part.
I'm thinking of the next round.
Yeah, great.
But I think, the person that's going to help me build this platform, a guy called Peter Kutsia, he's willing to come on board like straight away. He's already talking to different people about how we can build this. So we're pretty much ready to go. Yeah.
Thanks, Irene.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Irina. Certainly a very fascinating tool. Next up, we're going to move to our second online presentation from Ali Anderson. And I'm sure Ali is watching at home. And we'll just get Raf to get it ready.
Sunny and I would like to tell you a story. Once upon a time, there was a little girl who loved horses. Every day she cantered around her backyard on her hobby horse, dreaming of the championship she would win. One day her parents bought her a pony, and from that day on, she spent every possible hour, rain, hail or shine, with her pony, learning to care for him and ride him better. People often told her how lucky she was to be sharing this journey with her mum, who also had her own horse. Because of her dedication, by the time she had completed school, she had improved her horse care skills to a level that earned her the opportunity to work for and train with an Olympic gold medalist who she'd looked up to as a child. Despite some heartbreaking setbacks with her horses, she took every opportunity that came her way and worked really hard with what she had, until finally the dream she had played out so many times on her hobby horse came true on real horses in competition. You've probably worked out by now that little horse mad girl was me, Ali Anderson. Horses have taught me a lot during my 30-something year equestrian journey, but what surprises me the most is how little of what I learned is solely about horses. I founded Believe in You Equestrian with the vision of bringing the absolute joy of horses to children and families, and showing them how horses can help them to be better people, both in and out of the saddle. I'd like you now to take a moment to stand in the riding boots of a kid who rides with me. Let's call her Miss 13. Miss 13 has started high school this year. She has a cyst on her brain, which is drained by a shunt and is significantly vision impaired. She also shows a high level of anxiety and very low self-confidence. Our horses have not only provided Miss 13 with an activity that she can participate in safely, unlike ball or contact sports, but have also given her the opportunity to shine. The incredible bond she has formed with our recently domesticated Brumby, Sunny here, has helped Sunny to adjust to domestic life whilst boosting Miss 13's confidence and helping her learn to control her anxiety. The way I work with children like Miss 13 is inspired by experiences from my own equestrian journey, working my way up the levels to compete at FEI level dressage. I combine this with the NLP certification I completed to work through my own significant mental health challenges, to teach horse riding and care to children and families in a way that also develops empathy, resilience, confidence, and other valuable life skills that make us better people, both in and out of the saddle. I've looked through my diary and opened up 4 sessions a week with our horses, a small percentage of the children who attend the many schools local to Believe in You headquarters, just out of Uganda. These sessions include horse care, such as grooming and tacking up, as well as riding, which gives me the chance to build a relationship with the children and see where they're at on the day before they start riding. I've also opened up places for 8 families with their own horses to be mentored by me. A small percentage of the members of the pony clubs local to Believe in You headquarters, not to mention the many other families who own horses in this area. This works on a 4-week cycle, starting with a riding lesson, followed by 4 weeks of virtual support, unlike the industry norm of more frequent lessons and you're on your own in between. Now I want you to think about the children you know. Maybe there's one as horse mad as me, whose hobby horse really needs a day off. Or maybe you know one like Miss 13, who faces physical and or emotional challenges every day. Or maybe one who's already having riding lessons and really wants their own pony, but their parents aren't horsey and don't know where to start. Or maybe one you know already has a pony, but their equestrian journey isn't quite going according to plan. If you know any child who would like to experience the absolute joy horses can bring and could benefit from the life lessons they teach, just as I have, please get in touch with us and you'll speak directly to me, Ali Anderson, about your child's needs and how we can help. Thank you.
Yeah, great presentation, and obviously something that's really, really important. And having access to something like that, I suppose, is a barrier for lots of people. So removing that barrier is going to be a huge advantage for people. I suppose, especially for people in and around more populated areas who aren't from the country or anything like that, to get access to like something like you're offering is really, really important. So yeah, great job.
Yeah, great, Ali. I can see the huge benefit, and I like that you've thought about it from a variety of different user perspectives and where those benefits can be. My question, or my comment, is to think about a scalability again. Could there be opportunity for partnerships with other equestrian fans and owners, so that the reach could be bigger as well, realising that the area you've identified is within a 100k radius of where you're based, but I wonder if there's an opportunity to create a replicable model that can be expanded and scaled a bit as well, to reach some people that may not, or if there's different models depending on financial hardship as well, particularly where that might be benefiting some health or mental health for some young people, where the financial model might be complemented, or potentially even from an NDIS provider perspective. Could you actually be a service that's offered as part of an NDIS component as well?
So horses are wonderful animals, and they bring joy to the people when they interact with them. And I think you've demonstrated the value that it can bring to people with particular needs. I suppose one thing that's not clear to me is who else is offering these kinds of services, whether this is something quite unique or and how you're if there's any, if this is essentially your point of differentiation from all other services, is that unique or not? So, but well done.
Well done, Ellie. She certainly leveled up by bringing a horse to her presentation. One to beat. But thank you very much, Ellie, for your presentation. Definitely enjoyed me personally watching the horse. But down to our lucky last. So we have a Sound Surfer, and we have Deb and Nick online, who's copped out. And now we have Jenna presenting. I'll just grab the clicker for you. Round of applause for Sound Surfer, everyone.
Think of a tedious but important part of your job. There is always something we detest, try and avoid, or handball. For acoustic engineers, that is doing mechanical noise assessments. It is the office hot potato. Can you think of anything more boring than calculating noise from a fan, down a duct, into a room? Probably not. Mix that with the most clunky and unsophisticated ways of doing these calculations. Spreadsheets that make you cross-eyed. Hi, I'm Deb, and this is Jenna. We're those poor, unfortunate acoustic engineers looking to palm off the next mechanical noise assessment that passes our desk. Unfortunately, these mind-numbing, cross-eyed creating calculations are critical for our job and to building design. The creation of comfortable and pleasant spaces is important for us all. Noisy spaces can really interfere with our working, living, and learning environments. Engineers are still doing this important work using spreadsheets. These are prone to error and difficult to follow. How can this be? How can we do this in a way that is quick, easy, and smart? Sound Surfer.
We have created a tool by acoustic consultants for acoustic consultants. It is an app that provides a quick and easy way to undertake complicated calculations. Sound Surfer is the culmination of more than 2 decades worth of developing in-house tools with input from some of Australia's greatest acoustic consultants. So not us. Sound Surfer is the result of this knowledge combined with developers to create the most user-friendly software that all acoustic engineers can benefit from. Other available tools are okay if you have one fan going into one duct servicing one room. Sure, you can follow this very linear concept down a spreadsheet, no worries. But in the real world, the real 3D world, air conditioning ducts branch off into other ducts. It's not uncommon to have one air conditioning unit service multiple rooms or multiple units servicing just one room. Suddenly, the nice, simple spreadsheet becomes a mess. And when things get messy, even the best engineers make mistakes. They take shortcuts they shouldn't, because otherwise it would take forever and you would pull your hair out. As well as this, numbers have no resemblance to what's happening in the real world. Looking at a spreadsheet with just columns, it makes it very difficult to review anyone's work and understand what's going on. Sound Surfer is smart and intuitive because unlike these other tools, it has a graphical user interface. You can now link up the rooms, the units, and the ducts exactly like they are in the building. What you see is what you get. So how do we know Sound Surfer is better? Because we, acoustic consultants, and our colleagues have been using this every day at our own company, Resonate Consultants. Through rigorous testing, we have found that this system has saved us countless of hours and the pain and frustration usually experienced when using these other available software. In addition to that, we've actually been using this software for over a year now on some of Australia's biggest projects, some just in Adelaide, pictured above. We tested the market here in Australia and got an overwhelmingly positive response, which is fantastic. Acoustic consultants are desperate for us to release this program, and there is huge international potential with the market size growing exponentially outside of Australia.
Sound Surfer makes our job quick and easy. Time can now be spent on more fulfilling parts of our job, like spending time with clients, doing business development, and training with our team. Finally, a way to get this important work quickly off our to-do list. What a relief. If we Sound Surfer it, we can enjoy being an acoustic engineer once more. We're not looking for investors, we're looking for users and people who can help with marketing and distribution. If you're an acoustic engineer, come join the growing community of users and make your life easy. If you have contacts and can help get this product to users, come partner with us. There is huge international potential. Either way, come join us. Would love to have you along for the ride. Thank you.
So I didn't know that there was an occupation called an acoustic engineer. So that's one thing I've learned tonight. And I must say, I'm someone who often goes into spaces and finds the ambient noise just drives me mad, especially in restaurants, where I just can't, I end up lip reading and that sort of thing. And so I think, you've demonstrated the value of, you've obviously done a lot of development. You've demonstrated the value from your own experience. You've demonstrated there's international interest. But I suppose my question is, how do you get the message out there? How do you make sure that when people plan buildings, that they actually plan for a pleasant acoustic experience in that building? Because it's just from the number of bad experiences I have, I can't help thinking that your skills are probably not as well used as they should be.
There's, believe it or not, there's actually Australian standards and international standards for acoustics and to achieve specific levels inside buildings. There's building code requirements, there's lots of standards that we're supposed to design to, and this tool really helps us to do that. So you're probably experiencing things like restaurants when they get really, really noisy. There's nothing really regulating that. So, but there's things like for, the space that we're in now, there's Australian standards on how to design the noise level in this space. So yeah.
Thank you.
And there are other things as well, like you'll see buildings now go for Green Star ratings and everyone's like, oh, that's great. That actually has an acoustic component that encourages them to do that design as part of their design.
Yeah, great presentation, and really like the way that you showed all the information. It made it really, really clear what you're looking to do. I suppose, like, on the roadmap, where are you on the journey? Like, you touched on it briefly, but, like, what's the sort of next steps? What are you looking for from that side?
So through Venture Dorm, we've been using it internally for a long time now. And through Venture Dorm, it was like minimum viable product, just get it out there. So we've got a lot of contacts in Australia and New Zealand in the industry. So within 2 weeks, we got 40 users over 14 companies just to trial it out for us. And we have got a booth in the New Zealand conference, try and get it out there, and then we'll get a booth as a American and Australian joint conference in 2023 as well. So yeah, so we've got some users in Ireland, UK, New Zealand, and quite a few in Australia in just 2 weeks. So yeah, really encouraging.
Yeah, awesome. Congrats.
Yeah.
I am just blown away that people are still using, that this hasn't...
I know.
That this hasn't happened sooner.
Yeah. Engineers do love spreadsheets, by the way.
But this is, to actually have people who are qualified to use people skills where there are things that could be done in a automated way, as you're presenting, seems like a no-brainer to me. Have you thought about, at the moment I'm getting the concept that it's really about the building design, the air ducts, etc. Have you thought about how else it could be used? Using Michael's example of in a restaurant, is there potential to then have some sort of sensor-linked system that could measure ambient noise within a restaurant setting and identify where you could put different sound barriers or hoardings to assist that?
So it also does, it does do room acoustics as well, so we didn't really touch on that. So it does mechanical noise, which is the exciting part, and it does room acoustics, which would address the internal acoustics for like restaurants. Also does environmental noise, so you can propagate it out, do it over a barrier, do reflections and things like that. So, and we can expand it even more. So we've got developers now, and there's definitely things that we can do to expand it more, probably into the environmental space as well. So environmental noise, but no, not that's a bit too clever.
So you are just looking for people to use it now?
Yes.
That's what you just want connections with people?
We want users,
Yeah. Okay, so you're looking at engineering firms and...
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
So you've developed it, the software's there.
The software's there.
The software's there. Is it within the Resonate... Was this what you've... No. Are you doing a side gig?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's all. Yes. That's brilliant. Fantastic. I can't believe that something like this hasn't happened before now. So well done.
No. Oh, thank you. I'm clapping for myself. Well done.
I think that's gone on. Yep. So I just had a question. I also had never heard of an acoustic engineer, but I was wondering, is there any potential for it to be used by people themselves who are restaurant owners or those sorts of things? So you're obviously talking about just selling to other acoustic engineers, but could there be a version of it where people that don't want their restaurant to be so noisy are able to use it, maybe a simplified version, to work out what they can do to take noise levels down?
They can definitely use it, but it does take a little bit of knowledge about how to use it. So there's like a room element, you have to put in all your... it's pretty basic. So we haven't thought about to the general public, but we have thought about to council planners. So we get lots of things peer reviewed because they don't know. It's like a black art, was what they call black magic, is acoustic. So we have thought about, to planners and to other people who aren't necessarily acoustic engineers that deal with noise, to be able to do a quick sanity check is what we're saying within the realms of reason, without getting a peer review. But to the general public, no. So it's definitely something we can think about.
Yeah. That would really open up your market to lots more people. I mean, I'm with the Aged Care Centre for Growth and Translational Research, and you think of all the nursing homes and so on where ambient noise is a huge problem and really disturbing for people with dementia. For them to be able to use it and to then identify how to reduce the noise would be fantastic.
That's great feedback. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sound Surfer. All right. Well, I really know these guys really love what they do as they walked into the room and started patting the walls to see what materials there's behind there. So well done, guys. And that's it for our presentation tonight. So all the presenters done for the night. Big sigh of relief. But as I've been saying, tonight at the end of your presentations, it's start of the real world tomorrow. But we're not there yet. Please help yourself to nibbles outside and some drinks. We will have a break for half an hour. The judges will not. They will be going into one of the little side rooms somewhere and talking about all your presentations for the next half an hour. We will then come back in and do a bit of a prizes, and the most important part is to graduate all of you. So yes, please enjoy yourself for the next half an hour, and we'll see you back soon. All right. Thank you very much for waiting. I'm sure it was very hard for you waiting the last 30 minutes with food and drink. But thank you very much. The judges had an interesting time in the last 30 minutes, really put them to work. But we have come to our top three. So I would like to invite Michael up to the stage to say a few words.
Thanks, Kat. And look, all I want to say is that we were really impressed by the presentations. We thought they were very slick. We thought they were very captivating. And they were also very diverse. And so it was actually a very tough job. We often felt like we were comparing apples and oranges, and it was very hard to reach a decision. Ultimately, our decisions were based upon the definition of the problem, you know, how significant a problem this is, the clarity with which the vision was expressed, and also the execution and the degree of thought that had gone into that execution. So without any further ado, I'll hand over to Kat to announce the winners.
Thank you very much, Michael. Michael will keep you up on stage here so you can hand over whatever you need to hand over. We'll just fling something in you. Penelope will very nicely, thank you very much, assist with that. So we'll start with the third prize winner. Like I said, very difficult decision, and I think you should all take pride in the presentations as you've come really far in the last 7 weeks. So the third place goes to Green Grids. Congratulations. Just hand you a bottle and take some photos.
This will go nicely over again.
We'll get you to turn around for a photo with Michael as well. I mean, it'd be big part of the presentation, I'd say. Well done. Thank you very much. And our second prize, I think I've said the word clicker over 50 times tonight. Second prize goes to CCC. Well done. So with the second prize, we have the amazing Ellen from Briefing Room to provide 2 marketing strategy sessions, including personal marketing advice for you, and as with all the winners, some South Star tickets for 2023, which I will contact you about post-program. Congrats. Amazing. Thank you very much. The first prize, no drum roll. I said no, never listen. I'm selling our MBA director tonight, Carla, who's sitting right behind you. She will be taking you out to lunch. Carla is actually, yes, our MBA director and innovation and entrepreneurship academic at Flinders. A wealth of knowledge, I must say. So very lucky. I would like to have lunch with her, but she never has time. So very lucky prize. And the winner for tonight, congratulations to Sound Surfer. You get to go on stage, as I've heard.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations, well done.
Thank you so much.
On the
Oh,
stage.
I have to get on the stage.
Well done. All right. So thank you very much to all 3 of you. Congrats, sorry, for winning the prizes. But as I've been saying for the last 7 weeks of Ventrodom, what's most important is how you've come through the program and the progress that you've made throughout the program. The prizes are really a bonus to you, and I think over the last 8 weeks, all of you have made amazing progress throughout the program, so I think you all should be very proud, and you are winners coming out of this, all of you. So yes, let's move to my favorite part, graduating all of you. So I will get Verity to come up, and she will be handing you your graduation certificate. Yes, we're going to do this old school style. We are university. You will come up, you will shake hands, you will get a photo. Yeah, well, that's the plan. All right. Yes, please. Get up on stage, and we'll get you to hop in and hop down. So first of all, you can come up as a group, green grids. So Heather Smith, that's you. Yes, well done. Yes, oh, we're doing books as well. Congratulations.
Hang on, you've got to get it. Oh, you've got things coming.
Yes, we do have things to give you. More things to read. Congratulations. Paul, come on down. Yeah, cool. Lucky guess. Next one, Quinton. Happy for all of you to save all your applause till the very end, if it makes it easier. I know it's a bit awkward in these things, you just keep applauding as you go. Anissa. Victor. Deb? Jenna, I will hand you Nick's one. So, and you can share the book. Put it in the office. Yes. Breeze. And Jack, yes, well done. Irina. Olivia. Lawrence. Nav. Eva. Amazing. We do also have two of our participants online, Lisa and Ali. You guys, I know you are watching. I have your certificates here, and I will post them to you. So congratulations to both of you as well. You can stay there. I'm just getting back at her for all the things. So this essentially is going to be the conclusion of the night. I would like to say thank you very much to the judges. We do have a small token to say thank you. And I will hand over to Verity for a few words.
Thanks, Kat. Look, I just wanted to say thank you everyone for being involved. Thank you for the supporters coming along. Thank you for the mentors and the hours you've given. Every time we get to see the development that people have been through and the process that people have been through Venture Dorm, it is really inspiring. Each of you have put hours into the last 8 weeks, including tonight, in getting to this point. But I did want to thank the NVI team in particular. Tonight is not possible without a whole team effort. So I wanted to thank Ellen, Penelope, Rath and Saf, and particularly Kat, who has led the program for the last 8 weeks, has kept you all up to date, has helped the whole process run, has really committed to making sure that Venture Dorm works and come up with the concept of actually diversifying the presenters as well. So on behalf of NVI, from our whole team, thank you, and Kat, thank you so much for all your work. Keep us in the loop of where you go, what happens. You're part of an NVI alumni now, you're part of a Venture Dorm alumni, and we look forward to continuing to work with you and seeing your development and growth. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Very necessary, but very, very much appreciated. The one thing I will say, as Verity said, we are part of the Venture NVI and Venture Dorm alum. This is the start of your journey tomorrow, but don't think that this is the last interaction you have with us. We have other things coming up that you're more than welcome to attend. We do want you to attend. For example, we have a speaker series next week with the CEO of Sage, Adrian Fahey, and it will be here at Tonsley. So the details will go out to all of you, but you can also find it up here. So please, you're part of this family now. If you need anything, you know you can always give me a call, send me an email. I'll always be here for you. Oh God, that was soppy, wasn't it? All right. Thank you very much and have a good night.
There we go.